What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the CuJo Sports Talk Show. I am your host, Justin Crumley, and I don't really have a lot to talk about today. Before we get into any topics, I want to mention the whole CuJo Productions thing. Yeah, you might notice I changed the name of my YouTube channel to CuJo Productions. I just thought that would be a lot easier to remember for people who aren't familiar with my channel. Also, it sounds a little more professional, and when I make skits or any kind of short films in the future, I could say a CuJo Productions film on it. So I just thought it sounded a little better. Don't worry though, my Twitter name is still CuJo06241. That's not gonna change anytime soon. With that said, enjoy my theme song. I'm drinking water. You gotta stay hydrated. Okay. Welcome back to the CuJo Sports Talk Show. As I mentioned, don't really have a lot to talk about. I do want to mention that opening day for the Detroit Tigers is this Monday. David Price is the opening day starter for the Tigers. I will be back next week to get into that. I should probably mention the way I'm going to recap the Tigers is very similar to how I'm going to recap the Pistons, only with a little modifications. I obviously can't go over every game in a series. Usually in baseball, there's about 2 to 4 games in a series. Commonly, it's 3. Usually, it's a 3-game series, but there are 2-gamers and 4-gamers. I won't be able to cover every game. So what I'll do is I'll cover the series and I'll point out anything that stood out to me in any of those games. Let's just hope the Tigers have a good season. Really want to see them win that World Series. All right, guys, we're going to jump right into hockey. We're going to start this on a bit of a heavy heart. Red Wings coach Mike Babcock's dad passed away over the weekend. I just want to take this time to express my sorrow. Coach Babcock, I just want to say that my condolences, my thoughts, and my sympathies are with you and your family. I just can't imagine that, losing a parent. It's a tough thing. All right, guys. With that said, I'm gonna get into Red Wings recap, and this isn't gonna be very fun for me. So, yeah, let's get this started. All right, this past Friday night, the Red Wings lost to the Sharks 6-4. Wow, I said the Red Wings played the Sharks on Friday. I'm stupid. The Red Wings played the Sharks on Thursday. It was last Thursday. Wow, why did I say Friday? Why did I say Friday? My brain melted. That's what happened. My brain melted. It turned into mashed potatoes. Yeah. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, let's keep going. Just another game with shitty goaltending from Jimmy Howard. I'm just going to say it right now, guys. I'm not trying to make excuses for Howard. I think that groin injury is still bothering him. He came back relatively early. I mean, if you guys remember, he had a partial tear in his groin, and that doesn't just magically heal. I think what's going to happen, I think Howard's going to end up getting off-season surgery as soon as the Red Wings season ends, which, let's hope, is later rather than sooner. I really do think Howard's going to get off-season groin surgery, just like Miguel Cabrera did on his ankle, just like Victor Martinez did on his meniscus. As of right now, Mrazek should be the starter, but come playoff time, if the Red Wings do qualify, I would have to say you probably got to go with Jimmy Howard. Now, before you go blast me in the comments section with you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. Bleh. Jimmy Howard has the experience. Mrazek doesn't. It wouldn't be in best interest to throw Mrazek to the Wolves like that, because playoff time is one of the hardest times of the year to ever play in any sport. And if you throw Mrazek in the net, his lack of experience, it isn't going to fare well with him. It's just going to make his life a lot harder. So I would say Howard starts in the playoffs. But here's my thing. If he sucks in the playoffs, then you bench him and put Mrazek in. Because at that point, you don't really have a choice. I just don't think it would be best to put Mrazek in right away. I think you do got to give Jimmy Howard the nod in the playoffs. But Babcock has shown it before. He's not afraid to pull a goalie. In 2008, when Hasek started kind of going downhill, Babcock pulled him and put Osgood in, and bam, the Wings won a cup. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. This is really getting hard to watch. This is one of those times, me doing these vlogs is starting to feel like work. But it's okay, because I love you guys. Don't take that too literal. Saturday was a much better day for Red Wings fans. Why? Because the Red Wings handed the Lightning their first shutout of the year. Yeah, they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. Groovy. Okay, so yeah, the Red Wings beat the Lightning 4-0 this past Saturday. There was some controversy over Nyquist's goal to make it 3-0, though. The Lightning wanted an offsides call. They didn't get it. You know what? It is what it is, but if there's any Lightning fans cryballing about this still, I have this to say to you.
Swallow this.
I love Evil Dead 2. It's such an awesome movie. When a man who has a chainsaw for an arm is pointing a shotgun at you and tells you to swallow something, you swallow it. Okay, that did not sound right at all. Anderson scored his second goal of the season. Advocator also scored. That was the first two goals, Anderson, then Advocator. And then Nyquist, and then Glendening got an empty netter. There's some bullshit behind that, too. I guess Tampa Bay wanted a penalty, but whatever. The Red Wings won their 40th game, and they hit the 92-point mark. 40 wins. That's actually more wins than they had last year. Last year they had 39. So we beat the 39-win mark. All right. Moving on. The next day. Wow. The Red Wings blow an early lead against the Islanders this past Sunday, and they lost 5-4. By early lead, I mean they literally took a 2-0 lead real early in the first. I think by the 10-minute mark in the first period, the game was 2-2 or 3-2 Islanders, something like that. There was a lot of scoring in this game. Peter Mrazek was not sharp at all. He let in 4 goals and then got pulled. Howard gave up 1, and it wasn't even really his fault. He had to play it on a bad turnover, and that's been the problem with the Red Wings lately. They have more turnovers than a fucking bakery. They turn the puck over. They don't play well. They need to shape up because it's very possible that they could not make the playoffs. If they keep playing the way they do, I don't think they deserve it, to be honest. I want to see them make the playoffs. I want that streak to keep going. But if they're going to keep playing like crap, then I'm sorry, but it's just not going to happen. And finally, this nightmare can just come to an end. Last night, the Red Wings lost in the shootout to the Senators. One of the teams trying to catch them for a playoff spot. Way to go, Detroit. Way to go. Mrazek completely stood on his head in this game. He faced 34 shots, had 33 saves, not counting overtime. I mean, he was absolutely sharp. I'm not going to blame him at all for this loss. The Red Wings only had 17 shots this whole game. They were outshot. They were outplayed. They just better be happy that Mrazek completely stood on his head. Because without Mrazek's sharp gameplay, they would have gotten blown out. Now, they did get a point out of this. So, as of right now, they're 2 points ahead of Boston. And they're 5 points ahead of Ottawa. And they own the tiebreaker over Boston, I think. And I believe they own the tiebreaker over Ottawa. So both Ottawa and Boston would have to pass them in points in order to get their playoff spot. Now, the Red Wings actually play Boston tomorrow. So they got to win. They got to come away with at least a point out of this. I want two. They need to gather up as many points as they can, or I don't know. But this is really, really getting hard to watch. But hey, it's the end of the season. We're getting down to it. They play Boston tomorrow, and then Minnesota Saturday, Washington on Sunday. Then they play Carolina, I believe, Tuesday. Then they play Montreal one more time, and then they end the season against Carolina. So there's only a few games left, but they got to get as much points as they can out of this. They got to stay ahead of Boston and Ottawa. They got to start winning. They got to get them 2 points. Hopefully next week I have better Red Wings news for you guys. But until then, yeah. Let's just move on to basketball. Before I get into Pistons recap, I would like to say congratulations to both Michigan State and Wisconsin for making it to the Final Four. Now, you keep in mind, I'm a Michigan fan, so there's only so much praise I'm going to give both teams. But I will give them credit where credit is due. They both have some tough matchups, though. Wisconsin's got to play Kentucky, who's undefeated right now. But if anyone can beat Kentucky, it's Wisconsin. Definitely. Michigan State's got to play Duke. That's going to be a tough one for Michigan State, but it's definitely possible. Anything is possible. It would be interesting to see Michigan State and Wisconsin in the national championship. All right, time to get into Pistons recap. Only 3 games. Pistons beat the Magic 111-97. Stan Van Gundy's old team. They lost to the Heat, though, 109-102, so that kind of sucks. And last night, they beat the best team in the Eastern Conference, the Atlanta Hawks, 105-95. Yeah, the Pistons beat the Atlanta Hawks. Just let that sink in for a minute. Pretty awesome, isn't it? Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. I don't have any shout-outs to give. I wasn't really on Twitter that much this past week. I haven't really been on Twitter at all, to be honest. Well, I've been on, but I'm not, like, all the time. I've got other things going on. But if you ever want to reach me on Twitter, I am at CuJo06241. Thank you for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel for anything and everything. Until then, guys, I'm Justin Crumley. This is CuJo Productions, signing out.